This is an independent fan channel and is not affiliated with or endorsed by Hassenby. All content is created for commentary, education, and news purposes under fair use. If you want to understand like something that I've been talking about for the past couple of days, maybe if you weren't watching me, you might be confused today. You might be going, Hassan, I'm an Asmongold head. I watch Asmongold every day. And he keeps telling me these are brilliant moves that the Trump administration is making. But I found myself briefly coming over to your broadcast for a moment, and you're saying a lot of interesting stuff here, and I'm a little confused, right? I'm a little confused as to what is going on. Why did Trump make exemptions for the phones and chips? On the one hand, Trump said tariffs are good, and I celebrated that because Asmongold celebrated that the tariffs are good, and America is going to be a rapidly growing industrial economy. That's what I was thinking of. And then he turned around and he said, okay, no more tariffs. We're doing a pause on tariffs. So I was a little confused then because then everybody started saying, art of the deal, art of the deal. Donald Trump did it again. But now he's caving without getting a single phone call from Xi Jinping on some of these tariffs that were supposed to happen for phones, computers, and chips. What the hell's going on, Hassan? Well, if you were watching me for the past couple of weeks or maybe the past year or so, I would have told you that this is exactly what was going to happen because America is nothing if it's not, America is nothing if it can't protect the bottom line of capitalist corporations, and America is nothing if it can't offer cheap consumer goods to its base. It's nothing. That is the only thing holding the social contract together. And Donald Trump, as I've said already, basically destroyed that. He tried to nuke it. In the words of Felix Biederman, he molested the money. That's what Felix calls this. You know, he just put his grubby little hands on it and he molested the money a little bit. Okay. He had a moment of money molestation. And then they were like, you can't molest the money any longer. Jamie Dimon made a boss call and was like, no, no, no. But then he still has some of his fingers in it. And then I guess Tim Apple made the boss call as well. And he was like, no, no, no. So what is, it's fine. It's a little spiky, so it's weird. Yeah, I don't like that it's spiky. We're trying to make a like an impromptu mic right now. But yeah, the treats must flow and the money must flow. And Donald Trump tried to up the bag that way for both sides, and it's not going to work. Let's take a look.
With a 125% tariff on all U.S. goods sold in China. This comes after President Trump placed a 145% tariff on Chinese imports.
Can I score breast milk on you today at the rally? Dude, some of y'all, I know you're joking, but some of y'all really make me not want to go outside, bro. Like, please just calm down, all right? Jesus, Lord, mercy on my soul, dude. Oh my God. It's like, I want to say touch grass, but you literally want to touch grass in this situation and you want to spray me with titty milk? I don't want that. Nobody wants that. Please be normal.
And now we're learning of a possible reprieve on certain products. ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang has the latest from Washington.
Hey, Ike, as the U.S.-China trade war heats up, the Trump administration is exempting smartphones, laptops, and other electronics from his...
So I want to understand the mindset of an Asmongoldian. You know what I mean? Asmongoldian, a fan of Asmongold. In this very moment, do you feel like Donald Trump still got the big dick? Is he still doing the thing? Is he still hitting the red button over and over again? What happened? How did he buckle? Like, what is a guy who is only getting beamed right-wing commentary to his frontal lobe? What does that guy think at this moment? They're called Asmonglers, by the way. No way he calls the fans Asmongoldians. No, I do that. There's also another thing that people call his fans, but I don't want to say it because it's a little bit, it's ableist.
Reciprocal tariffs. That's according to a bulletin posted by U.S. Customs Border Protection late Friday night. Now, those exemptions also include solar cells, flat panel TV displays, flash drives, computer processors, memory chips, and semiconductor-based storage devices. So this is some relief for big tech companies like Apple, which relies on China to assemble the iPhone. UBS had estimated that the cost of the new iPhone 16 Pro Max could jump by $950 under the 145% tariffs that Trump has imposed on all goods from China. And right now, there appears to be no end in sight for the U.S.-China trade war. China has imposed 125% tariffs on American goods, and those steep tariffs go into effect today. The White House has said that there currently are no negotiations happening between the U.S. and China. Now, this trade war is painful for both countries. Last year, the U.S. imported $440 billion worth of goods from China, everything from toys, clothes to...
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Lutnick 5 days ago said smartphone manufacturing was coming to the U.S. because of tariffs. Brennan, you've said that robots are going to fill those jobs. Lutnick's is automated factories. The armies of millions and millions of human beings screwing in little screws to make iPhones. That kind of thing is going to come to America. It's going to be automated. U.S. publishes tariff exclusions for specified products. U.S. tariff exclusions apply to computers, smartphones. U.S. tariff exclusions also apply to chip making equipment. Tariff exclusions apply to so-called reciprocal tariffs. Trump exempts phones, computer chips from reciprocal tariffs. What happened? Yeah, as soon as Donald Trump said this, go back. What did I tell you? As soon as Donald Trump said this, what did I say when I was reacting to it live? I was like, oh, he's just going to he's going to do tariff exclusions to companies that come in and kiss the ring. And he's going to do it for basically all of the that we get from China anyway. Okay. As soon as he said, yep, I'm looking at exemptions, I was like, yep, of course he is. He's going to fold like a goddamn picnic chair. Okay. Of course. Now, the irony here is that the only thing that's not excluded from these tariff exemptions is gaming consoles. So for all those gamers out there, you're cooked. Unless you're PC master race, in which case, like, you'll probably still be hit by these tariffs to a certain degree. But, you know, art of the deal, baby. You're still cooked. If you want a PlayStation or a Switch or whatever, you're still getting shellacked. But if China doesn't make exemptions to agriculture, won't that break the backs of farmers? Yeah, of course. China already rerouted soy from Brazil instead. They immediately were like, okay, we'll go to Brazil for soy then. Good luck. Have fun. So now, because Donald Trump decided to nuke global trade because he was bored and molest the money a little bit, the only thing that's happening in the process is they're going to have to heavily subsidize the farmers even further in an effort to weather the storm. Okay, that's number one. Number two, China has already moved in the direction of rerouting some of their trade. They're making deals with the European market. China never even needed American soy. They were only buying American soy because of the deal they made with the U.S. in the first trade war. I know that. I know. I just had breakfast with my Republican dad, and he full on believes that Trump has the best interest of the average American in mind. I just couldn't help but look at him in amazement. Yes, man. Jews for Hassan. We got it. Calm down. Okay. Jesus Christ. Also, what is this? Jew 221? Thank you. Thank you for your support. Okay. Stop spamming. Also, for this exclusion, they're making it go into effect from imports since April 5th. So if tech companies already paid for the duties, they'll have to be refunded. Oh, don't worry. They haven't paid for the duties. You want to know why? Because the tariff collection system mysteriously broke. So they haven't even collected any of the tariffs anyway. That's right. So they couldn't even collect the tariffs. We covered this yesterday. Anyway, good news for U.S. consumers that President Trump has now exempted imports from smartphones, computers, hard drives, computer processor, memory chips from reciprocal tariffs, so they don't face the 10% global tariff or the extra 125% on China. It's also a win for Apple and Nvidia, etc. But you have to wonder, why didn't this exemption exist on April 2nd? Did the Trump team truly not know how reliant the U.S. is on China for popular electronics? U.S. depended on China for smartphones and game consoles. Top 10 U.S. imports from China by value in 2024. 86% of game consoles, 79% of PC monitors, 76% of toys, 73% of smartphones, 70% of lithium-ion batteries, 66% of laptops, 38% of plastic products, 14% of wireless headphones, 9% of computer parts, and 7% of medicine. Incredible stuff. Brilliant move, sir. They refunded it too. If they'd have collected any, it's retroactive. Yeah. So why did we do any of this? And does this spell confidence for the market watchers? Because it's still, they're just chipping away slowly but surely. This is turning into Trump 1 real quick. Okay? Trump 2 was supposed to be different. This man was on a mission. He was vindictive. He was going to punish everyone that told him no. Okay? He was going to tell all the money guys, you, I'm doing my thing. Okay? For no reason whatsoever. Okay? For no real reason at all. Okay. But it turns out he is still listening to the money guys. They're still telling him, like, you can't do that, sir. You can't do that, sir. And he's backing away like a baby. So what happened? What happened? Here's Charles Gasparino breaking. It's a classic news management for Trump and co. to announce the so-called Apple carve-out, no tariffs on electronics, late Friday when the news of the week is done. But make no mistake, this is another sign of a tactical retreat from the White House's initial tariff strategy, which nearly led to a 2008-style market meltdown. I hate using the term Lehman moment, which gets thrown around so much, it's cliched and not very descriptive. Lehman and the banking collapse involved private sector folly of irrational exuberance involving housing. This moment was created by massive amounts of debt, our dependence on foreigners, even adversaries to keep buying it, and the government doing a U-turn on global trading relationships, which needed fixing, not destroying. Like, the system has been going on this way, and America being the global reserve currency maintains the system's stability. Donald Trump weirdly wanted to get everyone involved and everyone to pay penance, while simultaneously they already are paying penance structurally by being... What? Oh, now he went from Jews for Hassan to Netanyahu. Heart eyes. Okay, dude. Well, eat this band then. Suck my... So is he doing all this tariffs so that 1% can pump and dump and get rich fast? No, I don't. The 1% is going to pump and dump and get rich fast no matter what he does. Okay? That is secondary. The primary goal here is Donald Trump enforcing his agenda and seeing the people's appetite or willingness to be able to... That dude was trying to bait anti-Semitism? I think so, yeah. RIP clip farmed? Wait, what do you mean? If you throw Netanyahu hard eyes, I will ban you. What the It's like saying W Hitler in this chat. You know what I mean? I'm gonna ban you. Like, get the out of here. So where is the liberation? Where is the liberation? Where's the liberation that's happening?
Electronics, those reciprocal tariffs, those are going to hurt American farmers. China buys more soybeans from the U.S. than any other country. All of this is hurting small businesses as well, not just consumers that could face those higher prices. I visited a toy store in Virginia, and the owner told me that virtually everything she sells in her store is either made in China or made with parts from China. Ike?
Selena Wang, thank you.
More executive actions from President Trump.
Liberated, all right.
Late last night, the president authorized the military to take control of federal lands along the U.S.-Mexico border to bolster immigration enforcement.
Ready to go?
The memo directs the Defense Department to use the military to take steps to secure the border, including construction of a border barrier. It comes as the White House is set to begin new nuclear negotiations with Iran and work out trade deals with dozens of countries during a 90-day pause on tariffs. Willie James Inman is traveling with the president in Florida. Willie, good morning.
My stepdad lost 20K of his 401k since this shit popped off. RIP, dude. It's fine. He's liberated from the joys of retiring at a reasonable pace, you know? It's good. Work is good, right? It sets you free, or whatever people say.
Good morning to you, Michelle. Following a week of market turmoil, the White House is pushing ahead with its plan for punishing tariffs on Chinese goods with no end in sight and with negotiations up in the air.
The White House says the president is optimistic about a potential deal after Beijing slapped 125% tariffs on America.
Look at this cope. Trump showed his pain point in his standoff with China. Xi Jinping, who rules with absolute authority, has shown he's willing to let the Chinese people endure hardship. President Trump revealed he has limits. Dude, what are we? Look at this cope, dude. Look at this cope from the New York Times. It's like, well, I guess we can't go to war with China because they're too authoritarian. Yeah, that's the reason. That's what it is, for sure. Yeah, President Xi can just like... Donald Trump tries to nuke the global economy for no reason, and it's still actually, liberals are still trying to uphold the almighty market system that we have designed here, okay? It's so unimaginably stupid. This is not informing the population. This is misinforming the population. What is the goal here? What an embarrassing copium moment from the New York Times. Like, do your job, man. Educate the people. Educate the people. You don't even like Trump. Why? But of course, there's a higher priority here. I'll give you an analog, okay? The analog here is kind of like all the weird, like, Groyper drama accounts, Keemstar adjacent drama YouTube accounts that despise Ethan Klein, right? For years and years, they've on him. But the one time Ethan Klein has a different enemy, there is a higher order of priority. They hate me more than they hate Ethan. So when Ethan is attacking me, they love Ethan Klein. This is the same principle with the New York Times. They hate Donald Trump, but you know who they hate more than Donald Trump? China. So when Donald Trump is fighting against China, liberals have to find a way to just make sense of this. To say like, well, the American systems are actually really, really good. It's just that we're too liberal and love democracy too much. And Donald Trump loves democracy too much. That's why there's no way for Donald Trump to be able to compete against China. It's just the weak point of America is that we love democracy. It's awesome. Except the lesson to be learned from this then for the Trump world is what? To be more authoritarian, I guess. I asked my aunt about it and she said, we're used to trade 1 kilo of white flour for 2 kilos of coarse flour just to feed the family. This is nothing. Yeah. This was part of your 2025 predictions. Liberals will support Trump in the direction of his China stances. Oh my God. I did make that prediction, but I guess it's the easiest prediction of all time when you think about it. Like Donald Trump is out here already whipping every law firm into shape so they can offer pro bono work as they go after random immigrants, right? Go after random immigrants for the crime of hurting the feelings of the state of Israel, a foreign nation, and to make sure that they don't actually fight back against this administration as it desperately claws constitutional powers away, as it rips apart the Constitution, okay? And in that process, we're like, you know what the problem is? Trump is too democratic. Yeah, okay. Don't worry. He'll show you.
American exports in retaliation for a 145% rate on Chinese goods set by the U.S.
I'm very comfortable, but I've always gotten along well with President Xi. We had a good relationship, very good. And I think something positive is going to come out.
The trade tensions between the U.S. and its trading partners sent the stock market into a spiral this week. Stocks briefly recovered after the White House announced a pause on retaliatory tariffs, but markets spiraled again after the Trump administration clarified tariffs on some Chinese goods would be 145%. All three indexes ended the week in the green on Friday. The uncertainty with trade hitting Main Street businesses hard.
Fertilizer, fuel, herbicides, machinery, all have gone up.
Some business owners who source their products from China worry they may have to increase prices.
We have a merchandise line, and a lot of components of that merchandise comes from China. And so we're really trying to figure it out. We don't want to have to significantly increase our prices.
The White House says at least 75 nations have come to the table for negotiations, and that 15 of those have already submitted offers.
We can set the tariff, or we can do it a number of different ways, but that seems to be appropriate. And they can pay it or negotiate it, or they can not pay it.
The progress to strike deals with other nations may not be enough to cool nervous investors and business owners.
I think the market was overall oversold, and we're going to have some of these relief rallies from time to time, but a whole bunch of uncertainty in all the sessions in between.